So now we'll talk about Flower Girl, which I just love this label. This is not the cutest thing ever. So we actually had this wine in the club last year, which so it means you may have had it before, but it was a different vintage and a very different wine. It was far more red last year, so way more extracted. This year it's a bit lighter, so we'll see how that plays out in the body and all that. But a bit about the producer. So Jenny Paval, she's actually from Massachusetts, which if you guys don't know, that's where Nick and I now live. And she moved out to South Africa and makes wine in the, I should know this better. Yeah, I thought it was in Stellenbosch. Yeah, in the Stellenbosch region. And she's famous there because she protects the native flowers of South Africa. You're not allowed to sell them. And they're just these beautiful, like almost like alien looking flowers that are only native to South Africa. So take a look at her website. It's unbelievable, the land she has, and she makes some great wines. So this is a pet nat, and I decided to do this one in a regular glass. Could have done a flute, but because it's a pet nat, I didn't feel like I needed to be so focused on ensuring that the bubbles have an adequate amount of space. Also, because it was pretty hefty and red last time, I thought that it might be better for our sniffers to have it in a larger glass. So lighter color, but again, definitely still a rosé. Oh, and it's Cab Franc. And I loved this wine last year because it was such an unusual expression of Cab Franc and so distinct and has very specific types of food pairings that we can talk about in a minute. So it is so green. Like the first thing I get and the main thing I get is like ripe green peppers. And I'm not sure if they're like bell peppers or if they're not spicy, but we'll see how it is on the palate. But that is like what it just screams to me when I'm smelling this. It has a little bit of floral notes, but like again, like especially right when you open it, like the pepper is just the first thing that you get. And you get more of those lighter notes. Like I think you've probably seen this before, but if not, so like you get the deeper notes here and lighter notes here. So like this is like major pepper. This is like I'm starting to get some of those floral characteristics. I think it's habanero pepper, at least for me. So you guys can decide. Let's try. Wow, what a fun and funky wine. So definitely still has the pepper notes on it, especially some herbaceousness. It is a little bit creamy though, so it must have had some time on the lees. I don't know exactly how she did it this year versus last year, but that is really yummy. And the thing that I always want to pair this with is Mexican food. So the pepper and the herbaceousness is just like perfect to have with like a taco, but then like it also has a little bit of this creamy quality to it. So like it could be covered in cheese. Oh, burrito? No, whatever enchiladas. That is probably the number one thing I would put with this. But just a very, very different and distinct representation of sparkling rosé wine. So I hope that you enjoy this type. I think that there is definitely a larger trend coming for sparkling deep rosés and sparkling red wines in particular. So you'll likely continue to see those come through. And this just seemed like a perfect spring wine. So I hope you guys enjoy it.